Hello, beautiful soul. It's your show host, Regina Huber from Transform Your Performance with the same website, transformyourperformance.com. And this week I'm coming to you live from Merritt Island, Florida, United States. As you may know by now, I'm a passionate nomad with a business based in New York City and always up for traveling. So expect to see me in different locations with different backgrounds. And yes, I'm all about movement. I'm all about diversity and change. And I'm often on the move. My eclectic life and experience on 5 continents has shaped me into a multicultural, transformational leadership coach and inspirational speaker. And I have collected this eclectic experience on 5 continents. This also has, of course, has helped me see the wonderful brilliance and the unique spark in so many women all over the world. And I've made it my mission for this show, for this very reason, and for all its episodes, to inspire you to ignite a fire wherever your path leads you, to move up your light dimmer switch and shine your brightest light so you can increase your income, your influence, and your impact, which leads to a more fulfilled life. This show is titled, What's Your Spark? And it's about how you can show up more powerfully in business and in leadership and sparkle your unique leader brilliance out to the world. Beam like a dazzling star with it. Shine with such a bright spark that people have to put on their sunglasses when they look at you. In my show, leadership always means leadership in any capacity. Leadership in business, in your family, in an organization or community, in your own business. It doesn't matter. Leadership is an attitude and a behavior rather than a position. And it starts with self-leadership and self-empowerment. Self-empowerment that eventually leads to freedom and greater fulfillment. All I do is in the service of freedom, the freedom to speak up, stand out, and shine, as my book title says. So if you're watching, I suppose that's what you want to. Speak up, stand out, and shine. So 2 days ago, as you can see probably here, I fell and I broke my right wrist. I know, it was a sign from the universe to slow down a bit. But even with this awareness, I decided to do this show anyway, rather than asking my backup person today. And I decided to do this for 2 reasons. The first reason is resilience. I really want to give an example of resilience because I have had so many opportunities in my life to learn resilience and to gain resilience. And I want to show that off to you today here. And second, it's because of the topic, which will help me get through the rest of this challenge, actually. So today, I want to share my personal morning and evening routines with you. If you'd like to upgrade your morning and evening routines, grab your notepad or your journal, ideally, and a pen, and let's get started. Let me describe my morning routine first. Right after brushing my teeth, I go back into the bedroom usually, and I lie down and pull up a Wim Hof breathing session. And you can find those on YouTube or possibly somewhere else. I find them on YouTube. And I found the Wim Hof breathing method a few months ago, or even years ago now. And I find it very energizing and calming at the same time. It helps me wake up without my mind going wild right away in the morning. And it oxygenates my brain and my entire body while calming down my nervous system. And this has a healthy effect on the entire body. body, mind, right, on my emotions, it can feel extremely liberating and empowering at times to do this. And this morning, as I was doing it, I was also feeling the breath really pulsating through my veins and into my right wrist, and hopefully it will help the healing process as well. And it's definitely a very unique experience every single time. I just love it. After this 15 or so minute breathing session, it depends on which version you do and how many rounds. So after this session, I either stay in my bedroom or I move into a quiet space outdoors or on a porch or somewhere else in the apartment, depending on where I am in the world. And this, this week I'm at a friend's place where I'm taking care of a dog. So this is my place this week, right? And I go on their porch usually because it's really nice and the weather just got nicer again as well. And if I have my Stargate pyramid with me, and you can look those up online. I'm not going to go into detail about what that is exactly, but I love my Stargate pyramid because of its healing energy. And I usually, for that next portion of my morning routine, would go under my Stargate and sit there. And I have really taken my Stargate to many, many places with me on travel, except this week because it's just a week that I'm going to be here. But I really, really suggest that you find a place that feels great to you, that feels healing to you. And it doesn't have to be a Stargate pyramid, as I do, right? What I also like to do during this part of my morning routine is I play some solfeggio frequencies. And I find those as well on YouTube. You can find them somewhere else maybe as well. I even have a caduceus coil, and I like to play the frequencies through that coil because this reinforces their healing energy inside of my pyramid. If you haven't heard of the healing powers of pyramids, and specifically Russian pyramids or the solfeggio frequencies, I invite you to research these topics online if you're interested. To me, I consider these really important support tools for my personal healthy morning routine. And I also use these tools for other healing purposes as well. Especially this week, I could use it and I don't have it, but I'm going back to Miami on Friday and I will have my pyramid nearby again. And what I have also experimented with is, for example, we all have what we call low energy days, or just moments in the day when we don't feel really high energy. So as I sit under this pyramid for 10 minutes, it usually totally energizes me and brings that back. But I know that there are so many other ways to do that as well. Many of you have probably heard of the solfeggio frequencies. But for those who haven't, they are frequencies that have healing power because just as colors or other elements in our surroundings, sounds also have an important healing function. Or they could also do the opposite if they are, if they don't have the right frequency. For example, in the form of noise pollution or music with frequency that doesn't really nourish us. Yeah. And because of this healing frequency of sound is why we have so many sound healing methods. And you may even have experienced some of them already. So now, once I'm sitting under my pyramid and I'm connected to my solfeggio frequencies, I then write down 10 things that I'm grateful for this morning. Some of which sometimes are in the future. I also practice projected gratitude. Yes. And I love that because this forward gratitude, this projected gratitude, it sets me up with a positive expectation. And at the same time, I try not to be too attached to the outcome of my expectation, but I do expect the best outcome, which helps elevate my vibration and therefore the probability for the best outcome. Yeah, it's about probability. And it's always also about divine timing, of course. Next, I always send love to my family and possibly other people, sometimes friends or clients that might need it at that moment or that I think might benefit. And who doesn't benefit from some love vibes, right? I think we all do. And I do it with all my heart and with my eyes closed. The gratitude and love sending together takes just about 5 minutes max, right? Probably less. Then I listen to my recorded vision. While listening, I close my eyes, I feel into my vision, and I enjoy the amplifying manifestation energy below my pyramid. This visualization takes about 5 minutes for me because that's the length of my vision recording. So it depends on how long your vision recording is. We talked about visions in earlier episodes. After this, I write down my 90-day goal. And I write it down 20 times. So this is a two-liner statement that goes something like this. I'm so grateful and joyful now that I have, and you complete the sentence, right? You could also phrase it differently, of course, but this is a really powerful way to start this statement. And I describe my 90-day goal in present tense, of course. For example, it could be, I'm so grateful and joyful now that I have my dream job with a monthly salary of $12,000, let's say. Or I'm so grateful and joyful now that I have my dream business with an annual income of $1 million, whatever it is for you. Yes, and of course, right now, writing it down doesn't work for me. So what do? I record it repeatedly on my phone and I listen to it. Always find a way. We all creative people, right? Alternatively, you could also write down the core statement of your overall vision. Yeah, it's your choice, really. There's no wrong or right. The point is you want to set yourself up for a self-empowered day. Then I read my daily empowered self script. I shared the script in detail in my previous episode, which you can find in the archive recordings. So in those archives, you will find all the previous recordings. After finishing this routine, I move for at least a few minutes. And if I'm on a tight schedule and I didn't get up early enough to fit it all in, I just maybe do a few sun salutations, yoga moves, yeah, or some dance moves. And with more time available, I'll make it a more extended movement session. In any case, I always do a more intense movement session in the evenings, but more about that later in the evening routine. And recently, I have also added a brain tap session. So BrainTap is an app that works with headphones. You'd have to buy it and buy the headphones, but I know that there are also other ways that are even free. You can find YouTube videos and so on. This is an example, right? It's all about finding your way and what works for you. But you could always check it out online if you'd like. It's called BrainTap. It's a more passive way of setting myself up for an empowered day with recordings and a way of reprogramming my mind in an empowering way over time. I've been doing this very actively with many tools, and I help my clients do the same. But this is more like a relaxing way where, I just got to listen. And I do this usually in the morning and in the evening. And if my meetings start very, very early in the morning, I push that brain tap session out a little bit and I create maybe a 15 to 20-minute break later in the day for it, a little time slot. And yeah, and that's it. So now, I feel like after all this routine, I usually feel like I'm really ready to have breakfast, to set myself up for the day. Sometimes I will make my coffee a little bit earlier in this whole sequence, right? Depending on what my plan is for the sequence, because I prefer to have my coffee, for example, after yoga or whatever that movement consists of. Now, I am absolutely not perfect. And I do have days when I skip my morning routine. Yes, I also do that. But these days are very, very rare. Like, for example, when I have a super early flight or a very early morning session with a client or a super early speaking gig, as I had the other day when I was traveling in Las Vegas, I had to get up at like 3:30 in the morning for a 4:30 gig. Also because sometimes we work with other time zones in other places on this planet, right? And for example, in the case of the early flight, it's easy enough to catch up on some of my pieces of that morning routine, either at the airport or on the plane. Yeah. And if my meeting schedule starts very early, I'll do the routine after that meeting, after that first meeting. And I really schedule it into my calendar right away. Now, I'm not the earliest sleeper most of the time. So getting up at 4 a.m. is a bit of a stretch for me, but I can usually make 6 a.m. and a bit later on weekends. I always want to make sure I have time in the morning to do this routine. And I think the only exception really for this is when I go out dancing really late, because that's when I get back at 6 a.m. in the morning. So if you didn't know that yet, I love dancing. Yes. And of course, you know, we all have those days when it's the exception to the rule. So let's move on to my evening routine. On some days, it starts with a dance class and you know, at this time only, unfortunately, it's not, it's only online. Yeah, it's not the same as in person, but it's still a good option. And what I do currently is private Congolese Ndombolo dance classes with my Congolese dance instructor. And I do those about once a week. Now, in the past, I would do up to 4 or 5 dance classes a week on a regular basis, very intense 90-minute dance classes where, you know, we would, it would be a really, really intense workout. And at least 2 of those would usually be in the evenings, and then usually 2 on the weekend, at least while not traveling. Yeah. And they were really high intensity classes, as I said before, mostly African and house dance classes. And on weekends, I'd also often walk all the way to class, about 65 to 70 blocks, and I'd do 100 to 150 block long walks. But that's not happening right now. So I need to really be consistent with my routines to complement my work day in a powerful way to make sure that I stay fit and healthy. Yes, because also the yoga classes are not happening right now, but I can do those as part of my evening routine. They're online yoga classes. Yeah. So I had to really replace all of this intense movement that I was used to. If you've watched previous shows, you know that I'm a movement person, right? I've had to replace all these classes and all these in-person activities in other ways with classes online, etc. And even if I shorten the yoga classes a bit when they are online, it's still better than nothing, right? And it's good enough. And last year and this year, I've also done many, many, many bike rides in the evenings. Again, not an option right now, but it'll be back. So after a light snack, usually I take my bike for a swift 1-hour ride, and for longer rides on weekends as well. But for purposes of the evening routine, it's usually about an hour. And I would do that at least 3 times a week. While I was spending some time in Miami this year, I would do it literally every night, right? I'd also stop at the outdoors gym to get a few arm muscle exercises in. And now that I don't have a dance class warm-ups for the upper body muscle work, this is even more important. And of course, you know, now I can only train my left arm muscles, but I'll have to catch up on the right ones. The evening routine for me depends a little bit on, of course, whether I'm seeing friends or not, whether, you know, I'm going out or not. But if not, I'd go straight to the rest of my routine after my workout. So I would write down 3 to 5 wins for the day, and then I check on my list of important actions for the next day. This takes about 3 minutes with a little practice, not much more than that. Again, I'll write my 90-day goal 20 more times for that day. And it takes a few minutes, you know, just before falling asleep. And after that, I would do my visualization of my entire vision again. This time just oftentimes in my mind. I could also listen to the recording again, but oftentimes I'm already in bed. I want to really switch my phone off, and I like to do it in my mind and really visualizing it, how it feels, how it can all play out, looking forward to it as if it were already happening. Yeah. Sometimes I'd also fit in another brain tap session, which then allows me to get a good night's deep sleep. So why do I invest time and energy in all of this? And so much of my time and energy, as it seems, although in the end, you know, it's not that much. It's about 45 minutes in the morning and a little more in the evening with the workout. But why do I invest this time and energy? Well, it's because it saves me time during the day and throughout the day. It brings up my focus and my productivity when I start the day in this way, and it increases my creativity. Yes, because I'm also now more able to spend time in the moment and in the zone. I have set my vibration accordingly. And secondly, also because it sets me up for success. It raises my vibration, as I just mentioned, and it elevates my mindset. I can now more easily accomplish what I want and attract what I want towards me. Yes. Third is I do it because it keeps me healthy, both, you know, mentally and emotionally, and also physically. It keeps me emotionally balanced. Fourth, it helps me get connected with my inner being, my intuition, so important. 5, it helps me ground. For me, Regina, it's not easy to stay grounded. I'm a very idealistic person, and I bring myself in touch with, I have to bring myself in touch with Earth on a regular basis, with my physical environment. I'm also a dreamer, which is a good thing. You know, it allows me to have big visions and to believe that I can create a new reality when I need to or want to. It also right now helps me believe that I can accelerate my healing process. Yeah. But it also sometimes makes me a bit airy, although I'm not even an air sign. I'm a Pisces. It's important for me to ground. And 6, I see the long-term effect of it, again, for my health, but also for my general well-being. And last but not least, reason number 7 is that I see proof of its effectiveness in my results. You know, we are conditioned all our life long, and all these years of programming, including the programming that's already in our genes when we are born, isn't just upgraded in a day. It takes time. We can do certain things really quickly with specific tools, but it's an ongoing effort, an ongoing process, and it bears more and more fruits over time the more you do it. Of course, we can also do sessions where we literally break up limiting neural connections and networks and replace them with more empowering ones. I've studied several ways of doing that as part of my holistic studies, and I've offered many such sessions in the past. They're very powerful sessions, and we can often see immediate results. I've gone through so many release sessions and exchanges with other practitioners as well, and it doesn't replace. And it's still, although I've done all of that, it still doesn't replace my morning routines. These morning routines, to me, they are sacred. So let me quickly share how you can find me and how you can sign up for a special session, a special vision session, if that's of interest to you. This is all my contact information here. You may have seen this before. My two websites are transformyourperformance.com and followregina.com, which is my connection website, meaning that's where you can sign up for my mailing list. You can also sign up for a free Career Accelerator mini course, absolutely free for you. And as I said before, I have a special offer right now, which is a vision session where I help you work on your vision, define your vision, and in a very powerful and effective way. So the link for that is on this slide. It's transformyourperformance.com/vision. I also have a YouTube channel. It is called Regina Huber, and you can find me on LinkedIn as Regina Huber as well. Also, if you're looking for a powerful gift for someone, what better moment to gift this vision session than the end of the year right now? Yes, maybe a loved one needs a new vision, a friend needs a new vision. The best time is now before the new year starts. Or gift it to yourself. Just go to transformyourperformance.com/vision and give yourself or someone in your circle some love. Or if you still need a gift under $10, then send them my book. If you give the Kindle version, it's only $6.99. And there's also the printed book if you prefer. And it's an amazing gift to support someone you want to see empowered to speak up, stand out, and shine. That's also the book title, right? Speak Up, Stand Out, and Shine. And you will find it on Amazon. And of course, it's not just a year-end gift. Whenever you're watching this show, maybe you're watching the recording, it's always a great gift to self and others. It's helped so many to show up more powerfully in any challenging business situations, really, whether it's speaking, whether it's negotiating, whether it's meetings, anything really. And this brings me to the end of this episode. Before I close off, I do want to thank you so much for putting up with me today in my casual outfit and with my poor broken wrist here. And, just, for being here and being patient with me today. You may see me a few more times with this because, this is not going to probably heal in a week, although I'm working on it holistically as well. So bear with me, please. And it's definitely a great reason to go shopping and buy some clothes where I can fit this arm in at this time. I look forward to seeing you next week, next Wednesday, same time, same place, when I will be talking about heart set. So if you've seen my coaching framework, Powerful Leadership Transformation before, then you know that a self-empowering mindset and heart set is pillar number 1 of it. And it has 4 total pillars. We've covered quite a bit of content regarding mindset already. So next time we'll go into heart set. In the meantime, keep shining, sparkle away like a precious pearl, because the world is your oyster. Thank you. See you next time.